Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. We begin talking politics where the factions of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, backed by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has announced that an emergency meeting of the party's Board of Trustees and National Executive Committee will hold on Tuesday, November 18, 2025. According to a notice issued on Monday by the factional National Secretary, Samuel Anyanwu, and shared by the media aide to the FCT Minister, Larry Olayinka, on his X handle, both meetings are scheduled to hold at the NEC Hall of the PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja. The notice stated that the BOT meeting will begin at 11 a.m., while the NEC meeting will follow at 2 p.m. In the meantime, the Federal High Court says it will commence its Christmas vacation on December 19. The Federal High Court Director of Information, Dr. Catherine Christopher, in a statement in Abuja, said court sittings would resume in all judicial divisions on January 7, 2026. The Director of Information also stated that this is in accordance with a circular duly signed by the Chief Judge, Justice John Toho. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has released the deployment details for its 2025 Batch C prospective corps members. The scheme announced this via its official X handle, confirming that call-up letters are now available, adding that some prospective corps members posted to Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory have been assigned to undergo their orientation in neighboring states. NYSC noted that some prospective corps members deployed to Lagos have their orientation course in Ekiti, Kwara, Ondo, Ogun, and Osun camps, while some members deployed to the FCT will be in Kaduna, Niger, and Nasarawa camps. The federal government has opened the application portal for the newly launched 50 million naira Student Venture Capital Fund, a flagship initiative designed to turn student-driven ideas into commercial, viable, high-impact ventures. In a statement, Director of Press and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Boriowo, said successful applicants will also benefit from a comprehensive support ecosystem. Boriowo said the program includes expert mentorship from seasoned entrepreneurs and industry leaders, as well as full access to tools, platforms, and resources required to develop and scale up their startup. And now to legislative matters, where the House of Representatives has taken steps towards strengthening Nigeria's emergency healthcare capacity and improving the country's maritime and fisheries sector. National Assembly correspondent Anyete Patrick has the details.
At plenary, lawmakers adopted several motions aimed at tackling critical national challenges. One of the motions mandates the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Development to immediately set up a committee that will ensure hospitals across the country are adequately equipped to handle emergencies.
The House convenes that if hospitals in Nigeria are equipped with robust emergency response system, needless deaths will be avoided, while Nigerians who require emergency treatment will have renewed hope.
The House urged the House to inaugurate an ad hoc committee to immediately conduct a comprehensive audit of all medical consultants and doctors in all our teaching hospitals, including National Hospital Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Committee on Oceans and Fisheries, chaired by Akarachi Amadi, presented 3 key reports targeted at strengthening Nigeria's fisheries, marine, engineering, and driving technology sectors. The report emphasized research, training, and workforce development to enhance maritime productivity.
Act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Act Cap A12, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2024, to establish the Brackish Water Fisheries Research Institute, Ungo, River State, and for related matters, HB 2349.
In legislative business, a bill seeking to amend the NAFDAC Act to extend regulation to herbal drugs passed second reading. The bill, sponsored by Jesse Okejo Onukalusi, aims to improve safety and standardization in Nigeria's growing herbal medicine industry.
Let's take a lot of what we call local herbs, and this is medicinal and help in other countries. In the light of this, Mr. Speaker, this amendment will help us to define their role, to set up a regulatory committee that will be ensure that the abode that are being used, the measures are stipulated in the Act, and the usage and the way it is procured, the hygienic places are defined.
The motions and bills now move to the relevant committees for further legislative action. From the National Assembly, Anie T. Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives is pushing towards a landmark legislation that could make Nigeria the first African country to pass a dedicated child online protection law. The proposed bill seeks to shield children from online predators, harmful content, and abuse in the rapidly expanding digital space. Again, National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick has the details.
The Child Online Access Protection Bill 2024, proposed by Representative Olumide Oshoba, has passed major legislative stages and is heading for final consideration before transmission to the Senate. Oshoba says the goal is clear: protect children from online exploitation while holding service providers accountable. He also revealed that the bill's timeline was slowed by adjustments to align with the federal government's new tax laws, especially provisions requiring service providers to contribute to online safety efforts.
We have aligned the bill to go in conjunction and sync with the new tax policy of Nigeria.
According to him, the legislation proposes strict penalties, including fines up to 10 million naira for corporate offenders and 5 million naira or imprisonment for individuals who violate the law. A major innovation in the bill is the creation of an e-commissioner, a new watchdog department under the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. It will monitor harmful content, order takedowns, and sanction platforms that fail to comply. Oshoba explains that agencies such as NCC and NIDA will work with the new units to ensure strong enforcement and safety oversight.
The NCC is a hands-on ministry agency, and you don't need that. They are agencies that function optimally, and they're going to be involved in making sure the digital space, because I need to commend them. They're already doing a very, very good job, but we need someone that is actually concentrating on the online space and protecting our children from harm.
If passed, this would become Nigeria's first comprehensive framework to regulate children's exposure to the internet and a major milestone in the nation's digital safety architecture. From the National Assembly, Anie T. Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
Let's move away from the National Assembly and tell you that Nigerian students studying abroad under the federal government's bilateral education agreement and their parents are set to stage a protest over the non-payment of scholarship stipends, which they say has pushed many scholars into distress. The demonstration, according to a notice issued for the Forum of Bilateral Education Agreement Scholars, has been scheduled to take place at the Ministry of Finance headquarters in the Central District of Abuja starting 10 a.m. today. Parents of the affected student, who said they could no longer bear the financial and emotional strain of supporting their stranded children abroad, confirmed they would join the protest. Federal civil servants have called on the federal government to urgently clear the outstanding 3 months of 35,000 naira wage award, citing the rising cost of living and the critical role of their arrears in alleviating financial pressure. The wage award, negotiated with labor unions in 2023, was intended as a temporary cushion to ease the workers' burden during the government's ongoing economic reforms. At the time, labor unions had threatened nationwide strikes if their demands for improved compensation and cost of living adjustments were not met. Panic has engulfed the Zuru Emirate in Kebbi State after armed bandits attacked Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, Maga, in the Danko Wasugu local government area, killing the vice principal and abducting several students. The late-night assault left the vice principal, Yakubu Hassan Madkudu, dead after he reportedly attempted to shield students from the attackers. The number of students kidnapped remain unclear, as authorities are yet to provide official details. In the meantime, operatives of the Department of State Services have disrupted an alleged arms supply network linked to attacks in Plateau State and neighboring areas, arresting a suspected arms dealer, Musa Abubakar. Abubakar was arrested following intelligence that led operatives to his workshop in the Mr. Ali area of Basa local government area of Plateau State. A statement from the service said the suspect allegedly manufactured and distributed weapons and ammunition to armed groups operating in Plateau and other northern states. You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. When the Midday News returns, Nigeria Olympic Committee holds sports administration course in Ibadan. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break, and if you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. And now to business news, where Dangote Petroleum Refinery has denied a viral video suggesting it is working with a company to distribute petrol through dispatch riders. The company said it has no connection to the video and is unaware of its origin. In the video, which circulated online, a man attempting to avoid fuel queues was seen placing an order for petrol through a WhatsApp chat. Moments later, a rider arrives with a mini fuel dispenser attached to his bike, with which he dispenses petrol into the man's vehicle. Still talking business, the Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund, MDGIF, has concluded discussions with leading Chinese manufacturers Endurance Group to deliver 500 compressed natural gas CNG refueling stations across Nigeria within the next 3 years. Addressing journalists after the meeting in Abuja, Executive Director of the fund, Oluwole Adama, said the talks focused on establishing a government-backed special purpose vehicle, SPV, to be promoted by the Fund Bank of Industry, BOI, Endurance Group, and Secure Investment Partners. He announced that the initiative includes the creation of the Compressed Natural Gas Automobility Infrastructure Company, CAM, Infraco, which will oversee the deployment of 500 integrated CNG stations, deployment of LCNG supply infrastructure, and provisions of CNG and LNG transportation trucks, with trucks mounted cascades to form a nationwide virtual pipeline. Adama noted that the project will ease long queues at existing CNG stations by expanding access to refueling points and improving supply through strengthened logistics and distribution system. Senior Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties and Domestic Affairs, Oluwatoyin Subair, said the project aligns with President Bola Tinubu's drive to enhance energy security by deepening the use of auto CNG and reducing reliance on petrol and diesel, particularly in the transport sector. Chief Executive Officer of Endurance Group, Eric Lin, explained that the SPV aims to build a nationwide CNG refueling, maintenance, and logistics ecosystem by leasing CNG equipment to certified operators and ensuring reliable gas supply through a world-class virtual pipeline network. And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. Officials from the United Nations Refugee Agency, World Health Organization, and United Nations Mines Action Service have delivered stark warnings over the deteriorating situation in Sudan. The military and the rival paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, went to war in 2023 when tensions erupted between them. The army and the RSF are former allies that were supposed to oversee a democratic transition after a 2019 uprising. The fighting has killed at least 40,000 people, according to the World Health Organization, and displaced 12 million others. Ukrainian City Military Administration Chief said Russian attacks have killed 3 people and wounded 10 in Ukraine's eastern Kharkiv region in the early hours of today. Russia says its air defense forces have destroyed 36 Ukrainian drones overnight. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky visits Paris for a meeting with his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron in a new bid to secure weaponry. And now to South America, where voters in Ecuador have rejected a proposal to allow the return of foreign military bases, according to early referendum results, with a count of close to 90% of ballots showing nearly two-thirds voting no to the proposal. The loss was a blow to President Daniel Noboa, who has said foreign cooperation, including shared or foreign bases within the country, is central to fighting organized crime. A separate measure to convene an assembly to rewrite the constitution also has more than 61% rejection, with nearly 88% of votes counted. The United Kingdom has announced new asylum policies that will cut protection and end automatic benefits for refugees, a major shift aimed at reducing irregular migration. The plan has triggered mixed reactions across London, with many questioning whether it can be enforced fairly. Our correspondent has the details. Some residents of London say the policy reflects public sentiment, but warn it could be difficult to implement without undermining dignity or violating international standards. Others doubt that the United Kingdom has the capacity or resources to return rejected asylum seekers, especially with the rising costs nationwide.
So I think it's a fair reflection of what British people want out of an execution. I don't know how they can correctly do it in a dignified way, because you see what Trump's doing in the US is a clear violation of human international law. So it's a clear sentiment in the UK, and it's a step towards a viable solution. But I don't know if doing these measures without any without showing effective step-by-step validated by moral compass, and also in the fact of sending them back, I don't know how logistically it'll be possible. It costs the British taxpayer tons of money in this economy and in this day and age.
I would hope they have a heart for everybody, but it seems that what you said, they perhaps don't have so much a heart for certain people as for others. The thing is, what I really would like to be dealt with is the people who exploit, the people who run these boats, and they exploit people for money and all the rest of it, and they live a life what I would consider totally inappropriate as to how they earn their living. They're the people I am against.
Now, there are also concerns about fairness, with some Londoners urging the government to focus more on shutting down human smuggling networks that exploit migrants rather than punishing asylum seekers themselves. As the debate grows, the government faces pressure to balance stronger border control with humane treatment and to prove that the new approach can work in practice, not just on paper. Mukhtar. Exciting world of sport, where Team Nigeria has claimed the best country crown away from the United States, storming to the summit of the 2025 Westpac World Scrabble Championship, which ended in Accra, Ghana. From day 1 to day 4, the 15-man Nigerian squad didn't just compete, they ruled, turning the Ghanaian capital into a theatre of dominance. Captain Rex Ogbaka, Olumien Doko, Abdulmuminu Jimo, Tega Okimute and Godwin Victor inspired the conquest of the 15-man Nigerian team, all making the top 20 in the individual honors, which was won by Canada's Adam Logan. In the meantime, the Nigerian Olympic Committee Sports Administration course for stakeholders across the country begins in Nigeria's leading institution, Sunshine School, Ibadan. The Sports Administration course is an introductory level training program tailored for elected officials and paid staff of the National Olympic Committee, National Federation, club managers, physical education teachers, sports journalists, and other professionals engaged in sports development. Organized by Olympic Solidarity in collaboration with the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Dynaspro Sport, and Sunshine School, Ibadan. The 3-day course is designed for key sports stakeholders, including directors of sport, sport officers, heads of sports department, sport marketers, and game masters. And that's it on the Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, Channel 365, and on StarTimes, Channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms, now showing on your screen, using a Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching.